throwing some serious numbers down. Am I right? Speaking of serious numbers, speaking of cycles, first of all, I'm waking up in the middle of my sleep cycle. It is 5 o'clock in the morning here in California. Looks dark out like it's evening, but the sun hasn't risen yet. It will rise throughout the day. I just want to give a little background, which is Ganat asked me weeks and weeks ago, would you do some stand-up during my health forum? Sure, Ganat. What does that look like? Oh, 5 minutes between everything. Sure, Ganat. When does it start? I don't know, 6 a.m. It turns out it was 4, but I missed the 4 o'clock bell. So, and then where I am failing her is that I just suddenly realized actual stand-up with actual jokes, you don't want to hear that. Zoom stand-up is like the champagne without bubbles. It's horrible to actually launch jokes and then wait for, muted little faces to go. It's the worst. So I'm just gonna go off the cuff here. I had no idea that this was a 9-star key day. As a 775, I'm really upset that this is a 9-star key day. Figure it out. No, just kidding. I have no idea what that means, but I did fail math in high school. In fact, when I went to my math teacher at the end of 10th grade and said, I think I can't do this. And he actually, most math teachers would try and talk you out of that because there was an understanding that if you didn't have math, you were like ill prepared for certain things in life. I don't know what at this point, maybe working in Silicon Valley. I think I've made peace with that. But he turned and he looked and he just said, yeah. And he let me quit math because there was nothing there. It was like I remember reading an article in the New Yorker once about someone who had what's it called? Like a hemispherectomy, like an entire hemisphere of the brain had been taken out for whatever reason. And apparently it's humbling to know that one could actually function without an entire hemisphere. You'd be fine. And in fact, what they packed this side of the cranium with, does anyone know what they packed it with?
Rabbit fur.
Rabbit fur. Oh my God.
LSD.
So politically incorrect.
Brown rice.
Ping pong balls. Brown rice would be a little heavy. I think you'd be like constantly leaning to one side. Apparently our brains are about the equivalent of, 30 ping pong balls per hemisphere. Anyway, I feel like I was somebody who had a bit of a hemispherectomy, probably packed with ping pong balls on one side. Certainly when it comes to numbers, forget it. To me, this is like spiritual Sudoku. I can count to 9. If I can count to 9, I'll be fine today. Okay, so as a 775, I feel the need to continue to keep the thing going. But I just want to say I'm mesmerized by Simone, who is spinning yarn. Can I just say that? I don't want to necessarily draw attention to her, and she's not sitting at her wheel right now, but she's spinning yarn. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that except on a TV show. And this is like my own little TV show at 5 o'clock in the morning. So I've already learned something today and appreciated the meditative process that is required to meet out the yarn at precisely the right rate. Yes to spinning, says somebody. And you don't mean spinning on some bike with music playing and someone yelling at me. You mean that kind of spinning. And that's pretty cool. Could someone churn some butter? No, that's not macro. Okay. It's 5:04 California time.
You
and
did
my
a
cats
great
are
job,
confused.
Jesse.
I've never been up at 5 o'clock in the morning in this house, so they're looking at me crazy. My cats will make some showings today. Their names are Ziggy and Cher. We'll go into it. Don't worry. And we're on. Is Alex next? Who's next?
No, Bob.
Oh, Bob
Robert
Carr.
Carr Jr.
Bob.
the third.
Calling in from Czech Republic. Bob and Mike was too, correct? All right.
Yes, Hungary.
From Hungary. Oh, Mokush. My stepmother is Hungarian, so my entire life.
The only thing I know is The only thing I know how to say in Hungarian.
Magyar. Mokush and Magyar. So, well, I want everyone to enjoy Bob. He's one of my favorite people in the whole world. I've known him for years. And I am going to take my computer back to bed but I'll be up in an hour. We'll see you in an hour.
Ciao,
Thanks,
Jessica.
everybody.